Congress is inching closer to avoiding a potential government shutdown. House Republicans narrowly passed a 6-month spending bill yesterday with just one Republican voting no. The bill now heads to the Senate, where it will need Democratic support to pass there. The deadline to reach an agreement is midnight on Friday. CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small is on Capitol Hill. So, as we just indicated, Taurean, the CR narrowly passed the House. The Senate is a much different prospect. It strikes me that most members, Democrat and Republican, don't like to see government shut down. So the question is, do the Republicans have the votes to get this to the president's desk?
No, quite frankly. I mean, they don't even have the full support of their own conference. Senator Rand Paul was the first one to come out and say he, like his colleague in the House from Kentucky, Thomas Massie, will be a hard no on this bill because the cuts in it just aren't deep enough. Those cuts, though, were concerning enough for Democrats to say at large they won't be supporting this. Though we did see one Democrat in the House support that in Josh Golden. He said that he supported this because he didn't want to see a cut down. He thought the characterization of this bill was a bit misleading and dishonest from Democrats, but the rest of the Democratic Party didn't agree with that, including Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. He's directing his conference to vote against this, so it's unlikely that Republicans will get the numbers here. And just to lay out the math, normally because of the makeup of the Senate, Republicans would have to seek, in order to avoid a filibuster, about 7 Democrats to come across the aisle to vote for them. With Rand Paul's no, that means there are now 8 Democrats who would have to join in order for this bill to make it to the president's desk.
So that's kind of intriguing, Tori. And it does strike me then that there's going to have to be a lot of whipping going on in the Senate over the next couple of days. What are you hearing just from your sources of the prospects of that happening, getting this to the president's desk?
Yeah, it's quite clear that Republicans don't have the numbers. I mean, again, Rand Paul being the biggest person to say no. Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska also gave a floor speech yesterday saying that Republicans are facing, and I should say lawmakers, not just Republicans, but they're facing these two untenable scenarios. One in which the government shut down because they can't get consensus on this. And the other is a continuing resolution that she doesn't agree with because in her speech, she said it's pulling back, scaling back the progress that they have made throughout this appropriations process. So that's at least 2 either on the fence or no Republicans. In terms of Democrats, it's clear that they want to stay united on this, show a united front in opposition of this. But we know that the strategy for Republicans moving forward is to lay the blame of a shutdown at the feet of Democrats if that happened. So it's likely what we'll see happen over the next couple of days is last-minute scrambling to maybe get an alternative bill that both sides can agree on in order to avoid a government shutdown. Again, politically, optics would not be in the favor of the Republican Party if this does happen, even though they are placing the blame squarely at the feet of Democrats, Vlad.
It would be interesting to see then, Torian, at the end of the day, because as you know, members of Congress are elected for 2 years, but in the Senate, it's 6 years. So who's up for re-election in the midterms and where do they stand when it comes to something like this? If they think that they can outlast Donald Trump, then maybe that factors into the calculus as well. So really, really interesting. All right, my friend, thank you very much. Well, let us know if you hear anything new.